Welcome to Deep Dive. Today we're plunging into a system that, well, it impacts countless lives and really shapes the U.S. economy. We're talking about the complex world of H-1B visas and the green card process. We've carefully gathered insights from quite a range of perspectives, personal stories, detailed analyses, market trends.
Exactly. Our mission for you today is to give you a clear, sort of comprehensive understanding of the current realities for skilled foreign professionals here in the U.S. We'll unpack the bureaucratic hurdles, look at the shifting policy landscape, and examine the broader economic context, too. It's a journey filled with, frankly, immense challenge, but also invaluable contribution, and we want to demystify it a bit for you.
Let's start unpacking this with a really poignant, real-world perspective. We came across a Reddit post that, wow, it truly resonated, painted such a vivid picture of the emotional cost. Imagine this. A 29-year-old H-1B visa holder, he's in his second year working at a small suburban firm. They're sponsoring his green card, which sounds good, right?
Yeah.
But he described his life as, quote, boring and endless. His days were just this repetitive cycle. Work, home, exercise, maybe some solo travel occasionally. He shared, quite candidly, "I have few friends and no relatives in the U.S." Said every day feels the same and he just couldn't see his future. Asking himself, why am I staying here during the best time of my life? He felt stuck, watching his firm navigate this multi-year PRM process with absolutely no guaranteed outcome.
And the job mobility piece.
Exactly. When he tried to switch jobs, recruiters would often just lose interest the second his visa status came out. And he noted it's even harder being in a non-tech sector. Sponsorship there is just less common. Makes finding another job incredibly difficult.
That story really does hit home, doesn't it? It's so easy to get lost in the policy jargon, the details. But this highlights the profound personal toll this whole journey takes. And his experience, it's not isolated, not at all. It's a common sentiment. You see it echoed by so many in similar positions. Commenters online deeply empathized. One said, "You're not alone. So many of us feel stuck between countries, careers, and emotional stability." Yeah, so this isn't just about paperwork. It's about huge personal sacrifice, this profound sense of uncertainty that can literally last for years. You're sort of perpetually in limbo, which really raises an important question. What exactly causes this pervasive feeling of being stuck?
And that feeling of being stuck, it often seems directly tied to the incredibly lengthy and complex path to getting a green card, particularly that PRM process. Yeah. So what does this actually mean for people hoping for permanent residency?
Right. The PRM process, that stands for Permanent Labor Certification, it's the critical first step for most employer-sponsored green cards. Basically, it requires employers to go through this rigorous and some argue quite outdated labor market test.
A test to prove what, exactly?
To demonstrate that no qualified U.S. worker is able, willing, available, and qualified for the specific job being offered to the foreign national. And it involves a pretty significant administrative burden for the employer.
Like what kind of steps?
Well, first, they need a prevailing wage determination, the PWD. That's to ensure the pay is competitive for the role and location. Then they have to do this extensive recruitment campaign, advertising the job widely, newspapers, professional journals, online, internal postings.
Even newspaper ads. Still.
Yeah, sometimes even costly print newspaper ads, depending on the role. It's all to document that they couldn't find a qualified U.S. candidate. Now, the Department of Labor, the DOL, originally said this whole process should take maybe 45 to 60 days.
Okay, that sounds manageable.
But that original timeline, it's pretty much a distant memory now.
So what's the reality today?
The reality is starkly different. Currently, the PRM process actually takes approximately 2 years to complete.
2 years? Just for that first step?
2 years. Think about it. 6 months just for the prevailing wage determination, then another 60-plus days for all that recruitment activity. And then you're looking at 13 months, sometimes more, just waiting for the DOL to approve it.
Wow. And what if there's an audit?
If your case gets audited. That adds several more months. It just stretches everything out even further. And look, this isn't just an inconvenience. These delays are creating real systemic dysfunction within the whole immigration system. For H-1B professionals, these delays are especially critical. Their visa status can only be extended beyond the usual 6-year limit if their green card process has started, reached a certain stage.
So if PRM is delayed?
If PRM gets delayed too long, it can actually prevent them from getting those timely extensions, which sometimes forces people to stop working. Or even worse, they might have to leave the U.S. entirely.
That's devastating.
It is. And it impacts H-4 dependent spouses, too. Their employment authorization is often tied to the H-1B holder status and green card progress. Plus, you can miss opportunities for adjustment of status if your priority date retrogresses.
Can you quickly explain what priority date retrogresses means?
Sure. Basically, your priority date is your place in line for a green card, based on when your initial petition was filed. If demand for visas from your country or category exceeds the annual limit set by Congress, the cutoff date for processing applications moves backward. That's retrogression. So even if your PRM and I-140 are approved, you might suddenly face years more waiting time. It adds another layer of unpredictability.
So these delays are causing real problems.
Huge problems. Immigration attorneys have even filed lawsuits challenging what they call these unreasonable and systematic delays. And it's important for everyone to understand. The employer pays all the per-em fees. DOL regulations require it. These are sunk costs for the company. And unlike other visa processes like the I-140 petition, there's no premium processing option for per-em.
No way to pay extra to speed it up.
Nope. Congress hasn't authorized the user fees needed to fund faster processing, even though the DOL has apparently asked for it, so everyone waits.
Okay, so the process is clearly lengthy, often feels broken. But I've also heard the argument, that these checks, cumbersome as they are essential to protect U.S. workers. How do you balance those two things? Is there a middle ground, or are these delays just part of the system's design, maybe?
That is precisely where the debate gets incredibly complex, right? The original intent of PRM was absolutely worker protection. But its current bureaucratic inefficiencies, they often end up harming both the foreign workers and the U.S. employers trying to hire them. And it's debatable how effectively it achieves that protection goal in today's market. Many argue that modernizing the process, making it more efficient, using current technology, maybe rethinking the recruitment requirements is the key, rather than, eliminating its core function.
So efficiency and relevance, not just protection at all costs.
Exactly. It's about making it work for today's labor market.
It really sounds like a system struggling to keep pace. And this next point adds another layer, the shifting H-1B policies themselves. We're seeing some pretty significant updates coming through in 2025 that affect both workers and employers. It feels like a definite policy pivot.
That's right. What our findings show is that these reforms include changes to the H-1B lottery process itself. It's now prioritizing higher wage applicants, which tends to favor more experienced professionals over, say, recent graduates or entry-level workers.
So less focus on entry-level roles.
Seems that way. There are also increased salary requirements across the board. Employers have to offer higher wages under stricter DOL guidelines, and there's stronger compliance, more audits, more employer verification checks, really trying to prevent misuse of the program. The focus is also shifting towards skill-based selection, prioritizing those in-demand tech skills, think AI, cybersecurity over maybe more general IT roles. Taken together, it signals a U.S. preference for a highly selective, experienced worker model for the H-1B.
And what about this change affecting travel? The Dropbox renewal.
Yes, that's a big one, especially for people planning international travel. Effective September 2nd, 2025, the Dropbox renewal option, that's the mail-in or interview waiver option, it's being eliminated for HLFMNJ visas. This means mandatory in-person interviews for overseas H-1B renewals.
Mandatory interviews. Every time.
That's the understanding. It's a significant change from previous interview waiver policies. This adds a pretty significant new hurdle, and it kind of reinforces that sentiment we talked about earlier, the one often echoed online, like that Reddit post someone wrote, "Nobody comes here for the H-1B job, they come for the chance to stay."
Right.
This change, requiring in-person interviews potentially every time you renew abroad, it undeniably intensifies that feeling of being trapped, or at least facing more obstacles. The H-1B experience without that clear green card path is often described as psychological torture. It ties you to one employer, limits job mobility, creates this long-term uncertainty. This just adds another layer.
And how does all this interact with the broader job market?
Well, that's critical. The interplay between these policy shifts and the U.S. labor market is a really important dynamic. We looked at the August 2025 Market Trends report from Aerotech and the U.S. labor market. It's clearly losing steam. Unemployment is slowly creeping up, hit 4.2%, up from 4% in January. Job gains are the lowest since August of last year. July added only 73,000 jobs, which was far below what economists were predicting.
So a weakening job market overall.
Yes. And this general weakening, plus specific industry trends, just amplifies the challenges for H-1B workers and the companies trying to hire or retain them. For example, manufacturing lost 11,000 jobs in July. Professional and business services lost over 10,000 jobs. So for H-1B professionals, especially those maybe not in the hottest tech fields, the landscape for finding a new job or getting sponsorship, it's definitely becoming more competitive.
It sounds incredibly challenging. But playing devil's advocate for a moment, some might argue these stricter policies are necessary, right? To ensure American jobs are prioritized, especially when the economy is slowing down. What's the counter-argument we're seeing in the data about the benefit these policies might bring? Maybe for innovation or filling specific skill gaps.
That's an excellent point, and the data does paint a more nuanced picture there. While job protection is often the stated rationale, other analyses, like some we've seen, highlight that H-1B workers frequently fill these highly specialized roles where, frankly, domestic talent is scarce. They aren't just taking existing jobs, they often help create new ones by driving innovation, especially in critical sectors like technology. So the policy changes by prioritizing higher-skilled, higher-wage applicants theoretically aim to ensure the program keeps attracting top global talent.
So the goal is boosting innovation, not just filling general roles.
That seems to be the intended benefit, yes. Attracting a higher caliber of talent who can directly contribute to advanced fields, even if the process itself becomes more stringent and difficult to navigate.
Okay, let's dive deeper into the tech industry then. It's often seen as, the primary destination for H-1B talent. We've got some interesting data showing this widening talent gap, but also some really surprising hiring shifts.
It's quite paradoxical, actually. While the overall tech talent gap is widening, companies say they need more skilled people. Hiring for new graduates has just plummeted, down 50% compared to pre-pandemic levels.
50%, wow.
Yeah, and that's across the board. Big tech, new grads are just 7% of hires now. Startups, even lower, under 6%. They're dramatically reducing those entry-level opportunities, which creates what some are calling an experience paradox.
Experience paradox.
Companies want proof of experience, not just potential. But new grads can't get experience if no one hires them. It's a classic catch-22.
What's driving that shift away from new grads? Is it AI automation taking those jobs?
Well, AI gets some blame, sure. But the bigger drivers seem to be tighter budgets and just leaner teams overall. Companies are recovering from that free money madness period of 2022. They're really prioritizing roles that deliver high leverage technical output immediately. So demand for experienced engineers is actually still rising.
And that's where H-1B comes in again.
Exactly. The H-1B program becomes even more critical for filling those specialized tech roles. Things like AI, machine learning, cybersecurity areas where maybe U.S. grads don't yet have those specific deep skills companies need right now. H-1B workers are really seen as essential for driving innovation and economic growth in these fields. But those policy changes we talked about, higher wages, more compliance, they increase competition for this talent. And frankly, they might push some companies towards outsourcing due to the increased costs and restrictions.
And are we seeing shifts in where this tech talent is located?
Absolutely. Geographic power centers are definitely evolving. San Francisco, New York City, they're still dominant for AI engineers, no question. But we're seeing rising hubs. Miami, San Diego, they're attracting tech talent. Lifestyle factors, lower cost play a role. Miami saw a 12% jump in AI roles recently. San Diego, a 7% rise in big tech roles.
Interesting. Anywhere losing ground.
Conversely, yes. Some Texas cities like Austin and Houston seem to be losing some startup talent. Issues cited include lagging infrastructure and, interestingly, a renewed emphasis from companies on hybrid return-to-office policies. It highlights this idea of proximity over presence, maybe not fully remote, but needing to be near a hub.
So despite the challenges, there are still opportunities emerging in tech.
Oh, definitely. New opportunities are emerging. Our insights predict the rise of the generalist engineer, someone who can effectively work with AI tools, leverage them, and we're seeing entirely new roles being created. Things like AI governance lead, AI ethics and privacy specialists, even agentic AI engineers.
Agentic AI engineers, what's that?
Those are engineers building AI systems capable of more autonomous decision-making and action, cutting-edge stuff. So, for employers in tech, the advice is pretty clear. If you need H-1B talent, start the process early. Be prepared to offer competitive salaries. And maybe explore alternative visa options too, like the O-1 for extraordinary ability or the L-1 for internal transfers, especially for those highly skilled, hard-to-find professionals.
Okay, so given all these challenges, the personal struggles, the bureaucratic nightmares with PERM, the shifting policies, the tricky job market, what are the potential solutions? What are the alternative paths forward? What could actually improve this system for everyone involved?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? From an administrative standpoint, a key area for reform is the Department of Labor itself. Our research suggests a strong need for a DOL reevaluation. Can they use current technology to actually meet that original 45-60-day target for PERM adjudication instead of the 2 years we see now?
Using tech for faster processing seems logical.
You'd think so. It would also mean updating those recruitment requirements, make them more aligned with how companies actually hire today. Maybe less reliance on costly, outdated print newspaper ads, right? And incorporating clear guidance for remote or telecommuting positions, which are so common now. And just enhance transparency overall. Clear guidelines when major changes happen, like with the new Form 9089 or the HALAGENE online system. Predictability helps everyone.
Makes sense. Beyond those administrative fixes, what about bigger legislative changes? Could Congress step in?
Absolutely. Congressional reforms could have a truly massive impact. For instance, expanding the Schedule A occupational list. That list hasn't been updated in decades. These are occupations considered to have a shortage of U.S. workers, so they're exempt from the whole P or M labor market test.
So that would speed things up considerably for those roles.
Dramatically. Faster I-140 approvals, easier H-1B extensions, it would be a huge benefit. More fundamentally, Congress could tackle the per-country caps. Removing them would create a more equitable first-come, first-served system for green cards. Or they could simply increase the annual number of employment-based visas. The current limits were set way back in 1990. The economy and needs have changed drastically since then.
Right, the numbers seem quite outdated.
They really are. And another big one, exempting spouses and children from counting against those annual quotas. That alone could effectively double the 140,000 immigrant visa cap, significantly reducing the backlogs that keep families separated and, frankly, keep talent stuck in limbo.
Those sound like substantial, meaningful changes. But, legislative action can take time, or it might not happen at all. While we wait, what about individual choices? Strategic planning for people navigating this right now. Are there existing alternatives people are exploring?
Yes, there are. And individuals and employers are getting more strategic. For entrepreneurs, for example, there's the International Entrepreneur Rule, or IER. It offers a pathway for foreign founders whose startups show significant public benefit. It can potentially lead to a 5-year stay. It's important to note, though, it's not a direct green card pathway itself.
Okay, so an option for founders, but not permanent residency.
Correct. And we also see many individuals weighing that dilemma. U.S. work visa versus maybe Canadian permanent residency. It's a trade-off, right? Higher U.S. salaries and maybe bigger career upside versus Canada's often more stable, clearer path to citizenship. And for those already on an H-1B here, understanding all these dynamics means they and their employers might look more seriously at other visa options, like the O-1 visa for extraordinary ability if they qualify, or the L-1 for intercompany transfers if they work for a multinational, or maybe certain categories of the EB-2 visa. Employers are increasingly exploring these alternatives.
So adaptability is key for individuals.
Adaptability from individuals, strategic planning from employers, absolutely. But ultimately, the system itself demands comprehensive reform to truly harness the potential of skilled immigrants and make the process more predictable and humane.
So we've really taken a deep dive today. We've explored the H-1B visa program, the green card journey, looked at the personal struggles, the bureaucratic maze that is PERM, the shifting policies, the evolving job market, especially in tech. We've seen how these issues impact real lives, real people, and also the broader U.S. economy, and heard different perspectives on how this system could be improved.
Indeed. We've highlighted that crucial need for adaptability, for strategic planning, both for individuals and employers navigating this complexity. But we've also underscored the broader call, really, for systemic immigration reforms. The pursuit of opportunity for skilled professionals in the U.S., it remains a journey fraught with complexities, definitely. But it's also one that continues to drive so much innovation and economic growth.
And as we conclude this deep dive, here's something to consider. How might a more streamlined, more predictable, maybe more humane immigration system not only benefit the individual skilled workers caught within it, but also further solidify the U.S.'s position as a global leader in innovation and attracting talent?
All the best, and we will meet again with another important matter again.